What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new video. My name is Wiz, and I'm excited to actually be sharing this with you because I will be sharing the journey with you guys in regards to creating this TCG game called FU. And at the moment, I've been thinking about this for the longest, about 2 to 3 years now, and then I'm finally going to go ahead and get into it and do a little bit every single day until we get to the point of creating the entire game. The focus of this and the focus of doing this is because I do want to create something original. I've been working in a lot of IPs in the background, and I think and believe that it is time for me to share those projects. It's time for me to share what I've been working on for the last 2 to 3 years. And this have been things and ideas that I've been working since 2020. The TCG game is something fairly new. Like I stated, 2 years ago, I decided to do this more so because I've been someone that loves playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't do as much anymore, but I still got the cards. I've been a collector for sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh! I grew up watching Pokemon as well, and I went through that phase where I purchased a lot of Pokemon cards when I was young, and I'm in that in that group of people that had probably the first edition rare cards and didn't even think that they were going to be worth anything 20 years later, and they're worth almost $1 million for a Charizard that I feel that not that I feel, but that I had once upon a time, you know. But the TCG game has to do with football, and I'm in America, but I'm not talking about American football. We're talking about soccer, football, soccer. So FU is a short term, or is an acronym for underground, football underground, basically. So to this point, and I'm gonna share the idea with you guys. It is basically, it is going to be based on a graphic novel that I'm working on as well, and it is going to be something of is going to have a symbiotic relationship. So I'm working on the story as we speak, and as we speak, I probably will share some of it more in depth as we get deeper into the TCG game. But just for you guys to know, football underground has to do with, in this world that I'm creating, there's no other sport. The only sport that there is football. At this point, the professional athletes were considered gods within this society, and we're in a dystopian society. So, being dystopian, there's gonna be a lot of cyberpunk feel to it. I don't want it to be kind of the anime look. I'm more so of a comic artist, so it's gonna look a lot of it's gonna have a feel of a comic book type of style, with some simplicity, and I think that the beauty of this is that I can take it so many different ways, and I'm in the beginning stages of developing the story that all I know, and this is where I'm gonna go ahead and share the journey. All I know at the moment is that there's going to be regions within the world, and it's going to be a world type of TCG game. So it's going to be based on continents, but instead of continents, I'm going to reduce it to districts. Within those districts, I think the beauty of it is going to be that once I decide to really get into it, I'm going to have to look into backgrounds of different nations, backgrounds of different cultures, and also look more in depth how I can bring this to life within the game. So as you see on the back screen, I've already developed some of the concept art or prototype. So at the moment, and I'm gonna share with you on the screen as well, I have designed 3 different cards. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and share with you kind of where I'm at right now. So at the moment, being that it is going to be about football, I want it to be a mixture or kind of a feel of Blitz. I don't know if you ever played the game Blitz, but here in America there was a game called Blitz, which was American football, where you literally, there's no rules. within this game, and you go to a point where you can break bones just to win a game. And the thing about this, and I think I didn't finish the story, the thing about this world is that since football players are seen as gods, there's a group of hackers that went ahead and overtook the entire system, the money system, and they literally just drained all the football players' accounts. And now they're trying to create their own tournament that has opened into the entire world, and has opened it within this tournament. There's no rules. Basically, the only rule is to go to a point of no death. So that's the only rule. You cannot kill your opponent, but you can literally injure them to a point of severe injury. So being the fact that there is almost no rules, only the rule of not killing your opponent, I think that it is going to be something that is going to be extreme, and that's the point and the aspect of this. I wanted to be have that appeal to adults in a sense, more so because I feel like some of the people and some of the people that grew up with Pokemon, grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh, and maybe whatever other games, even Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, or whatever the case might be, or Naruto. I feel like most of these people are now within my bracket, which is anywhere from 25 to 35 and even older. So we're at a stage where we are the adults, and I think that the best way that I can actually be a contributor to the industry is by creating my own TCG game. And the reason I want to do it is because I do believe it's fun. I think that one of the aspects of making, I've never played Magic the Gathering, but I've seen some of the art. For me as an artist, I enjoy the aspect of creating new characters, and I think that's one of the main reasons I want to do this, is because I want to be able to bring to life these characters that I have in my brain and that I have been thinking about for the longest. You know, I'm kind of am tired and fatigued about just creating the old comic book characters, or like for me, my favorite characters like the Joker, Batman, from Marvel, you have Wolverine and things of that nature, or Spider-Man, Venom. So I'm ready to create my own stuff and be working and putting in work on my own things. So for this TCG game, at the moment, I'm thinking about a 60 deck structure. So it is going to have some combination of what Yu-Gi-Oh is. I also want to implement the aspect of summoning characters. I also, one of the other things that I do have already in mind is the aspect of creating the aspect of bringing to the field a 11-player team. So how I can actually implement that into the rules and things that of that nature, I have an idea, but I really haven't gotten so in depth with it. So that's one of the main things that I will be sharing with you in the process, how I'm coming up with these rules, how I want the gameplay to be. And hopefully in this process, I can actually get other people to assist me with this, but right now I'm starting from scratch on my own. If throughout the process I see a need for me to seek help, I will. I feel as someone that grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of am aware of how Yu-Gi-Oh feels and things of that nature. And I was a person that grew up playing video games and stuff like that. I do feel that to begin the game, even though I've never done this, I think that the creative aspect of it is what makes me excited about this. And I will explore that more and more until I go to a point where I hit a dead end. If I ever hit a dead end, that's where I'm gonna seek for help and try to see how I can actually make this work. And I think there's people out there that I can reach out to that can help me with that. But at the moment, I think starting from scratch, I'm just trying to really flesh out the idea of this game. I just know it's gonna be about soccer or football. It's going to be cyberpunk. It's going to be a lot of blood and things of that nature. It's going to be very, I want to call it rated R in a sense. So it's going to be something that I want it to be like that. Hopefully it is an appeal for a lot of people. I mean, if you like football, I think that the aspect of just taking it to the extreme, I think that's what I want to bring into the market. And just focus on the aspect of what are you willing to give in order for you to make this dream come a reality, and kind of explore that idea between what a human is willing to give just to reach their goal, and the sacrifice, the pain that you're willing to go through. And I think that kind of exploring that and that being the main kind of theme within the TCG game, and that's how I'm seeing this to be. Starting with a theme, dive more into depth, create the characters based on the region and things of that nature, and see how this is gonna work within the game and make it a playable game. I think that's the main thing. So at this very moment, as you see, I have 3 cards sample right here, and I'm gonna share them with you on the screen so you can kind of take a look at what I'm designing. I started with one of the main templates for Magic the Gathering, one of the cards templates. So I went ahead and looked on Google and see if there was any templates out there. So for you guys, if you are trying to do that as well, I would suggest for you to look at either the cards you're interested in or cards that you are kind of aware of and see how their design is. As an artist, I feel like you don't always have to be original. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel, but you have to kind of like use what's already there and then twist it to your own liking and add your flavor to it and add what you want to it. So that's how I was able to start the design. So at this moment, I've thought about having common cards, having ultra rare, I'm sorry, having common, rare, ultra rare, and rage cards at the moment. So this is 4 levels of collection. If you're interested in that, I think that having that 4 categories for the first edition set of cards, I think is pretty cool, because the common cards obviously are going to be your cards that you're going to use to fill up your deck. Your rare cards are going to be a little bit I'm making those holographic. Your ultra rare are going to make those different variation of holographic. It's not going to be just foiled. It's going to be either since I am aware of cards that sports cards and things of that nature, I might make it diamond cut, or I might make a different style of holographic to make it ultra rare. And then the main cards within this game are going to be the rage cards. For the rage cards, these cards are going to have ultra effects that are going to be able to have to be seen as an unfair advantage within your team. But this is something that I will explore more and more throughout the videos that I make, because I do feel that I have to have ultra rare cards that you're not going to be able to have right out the gate. They have to be very difficult to find and things of that nature. And this is going to be one-on-ones for the most part of that character, because this is going to be the aspect of the game, right? Like if you have one of these cards, I don't want to make them broken. I don't want to make these cards to be a reason to break the game, but I do want them to make very strong. And if you find these cards and I have them in your deck when you do a gameplay, I do want you to have an advantage that is going to more than likely, let's say about 70% give you a win if you use it correctly. So that's kind of my mentality when I'm looking into these into the TCG game, because I do see, I am aware of Yu-Gi-Oh, how it is kind of broken now, where you can just go ahead and summon so many cards right out the gate, and usually you can just get rid of a player like that and someone that is starting off. And I think also that's a turn off for a lot of newcomers, when you have somebody that can just summon do so many moves in one move and kind of intimidate a younger player. So for me, I'm very aware of that, so I'm not trying to do something like that in this first edition of the game, because I think that if I do that, if I want people to play the game, I have to be able to be, it has to be welcoming, it has to be very easy to understand, and have a gaming system that is very friendly in a sense. So as of right now, the main thing that I've thought about is having 30-minute matches. So having a scoring system within 30 minutes, and whoever has the highest score within those 30 minutes wins the match. And I'm also leaning towards the aspect of being able to tie. I don't want it to be finite in the sense that, okay, there always have to be a winner, unless it gets to a point where there's a tournament happening. But I'd rather have it as a scoring system, just like football is. You don't always have a win or a loss. There's some ties between there. And I want it to be have a resemblance to reality in that way. And also I want to have and this is where the aspect of me developing the game, right? Like, this is where I'm thinking about it. So that the fact that it is going, I wanted to resemble real life football. I'm thinking about having a system where it does mimic, or it does reflect on lineups based on the FIFA game. So only lineups that have been at a point in time in FIFA are going to be valid with this game. And I'm gonna only keep it limited to 25 lineups if there is so many, right? If there is 25 up to 25 lineups, I'm gonna go ahead and focus on that. So you can use a 4-4-2, 5-3-2, 4-3-3, 3-3-1, a 3-1, 3 and then 2. Like, you're going to be able to create different lineups within this world based on the FIFA game. So you can have some resemblance, and you can, for example, let's say if you're someone new to just the aspect of football, you know that the most common one is 4-4-2. So you have 4 in the back, you have your 4 mids, and your 2 forwards or strikers. So you have to understand that a young player might want to feel or start with that lineup, and there's nothing wrong with that. So as soon as you are able to fill up all those spots or create your lineup based on what you tell, or based on what you announce, then you'll be able to gain a point, or gain 0.25 or 0.50. So to me, it's going to be very interesting on how I will kind of create this. I think that's the most interesting part for me, one of the most interesting parts, because I want to see how my brain can create this game flow happen, you know? And I think that that's one of the most important things about the gameplay as a whole. I have to have something that people can get and actually have fun, and not feel so confused about the certain things and how things work. So having these prototypes for me, it's very important, because it does give me kind of a guidance and a reality of what I'm looking to create, based on the system. So for example, the reason I have put a triangle on the bottom left of these cards is because I want them to have some type of scoring system, uh, going all the way up to 25 points in total. So at the moment, for example, and this is where this might change. I'm thinking 25, but I maybe go anywhere from 15 or 20, just to keep it very easy to track, and you don't have to really overthink it. But for example, I'm gonna share with you Kalen Russ, right, which is going to be one of my rage cards and one of the rare players from one of these teams. So Kalen Russ is going to be obviously one of the captains, and he literally is willing to do anything just to gain money and make money. And he's one of the mob bosses, and he's part of somewhere in Russia. And he has been able, he's a striker that is very physical, and he's a 6'3" striker, right? So he's very physical, he's fast. So obviously his attack is going to be a 9 out of 10. You know, to me, that's very powerful. A 9 out of 10 is almost he has a lot of skills, is a skillful player, but he doesn't care for defense or midfielder. So he doesn't care for anything other than scoring. The fact that, for example, I already have kind of put a template here where it says, can eliminate an opponent's defender as soon as he is summoned. So within the summoning aspect, as soon as he touches the field, you can get rid of your opponent's defender. And this is where the rules are going to go into play. And that's why I say it's going to be, I'm going to do the next video, because I already have kind of like started the process. But I've kind of backtracked and was like, man, maybe I should document this. And the reason I'm documenting it is because 1000, which has a big influence on me in that sense of documenting his thing, and he's very good at what he does, is documenting his process. I wasn't even aware. I have not seen any of his videos, And this past week, I saw one of his videos where he's been working on his own personal TCG game for months now. I wasn't even aware of that. Because I have been working on my own things. I've been doing my commissions. I've been doing work trying to do this TCG game, doing my personal comic called Goose, which I will also share that with you guys, because I think it's very important to dive in and try to share the process of how the world built. I think that has been one of the main things that I've been working on this year, and thankfully I've been able to kind of apply things that I've learned through research and through videos that are already out there. It's just on you to do that work and look for those videos. And I want to condense that down into my own shit and share that with you. So, having said that, if you're watching this and you watch the entire thing, which is already have you in this video for like 20 minutes, if you did, I appreciate you. I would like for you to share with me things that you might think that, and like I told you, this is like football mixed with blitz. So this is going to be to a point of the point is to get rid of your opponent's players and to win the match. Just think a bit of a extreme. What would you do if there was minimal rules in a soccer match and there was, let's say, billions or trillions of dollars that you have the potential to win in this world? What would you do? Let's say like there's no Spanish league, there's no La Liga, there's no Premier League, there's no French league, there's no Italian league, there's no Serie A, there's no MLS, there's no Mexican, there's none of that. All there is a big worldwide event that you and your buddies can be a part of, as long as you make your team and you register and you can compete for this big pot of money. It's like, and that's the whole concept of what this is, And I want to make this TCG game based on that because I feel that there is nothing like that, and I might be blind to it. There might be something out there already, but as now, as at the moment, based on what I've looked in online, there's nothing like this. So that's what I'm trying to do and bring into the market. Something that is, yeah, it might be considered a little bit rated R because it's going to be a lot of blood. But I do feel that people can differ and understand what this is, what the concept is, right? There should be some blood. If you're fighting for your life, if you're trying to make this happen and win at all costs, there is no limits of what you can do. And the fact that this cyberpunk, the reason I wanted it to be cyberpunk is because cyberpunk is one of the categories that I enjoy consuming. Is kind of on par with how our society is going towards, to be honest, with the technology level of where technology is at this point in time is crazy. Everybody's trying to get to that point. So for me, creating this TCG game, I think is very important because I believe I'm in the prime of my life, and if I'm able to do it, I have the thought process, the energy to do it. Why not? Why shouldn't I do it? I have the thought, I have the time to do it, and I will do it. And I think that if you also want to be a part of it, share your ideas down in the comment section. Share it with me because I am very curious to see if you have any thoughts or what would you like to see with something like this. I will be documenting the process. Every chance that I get, I'll document it just so you guys know what the hell is going on and where it's going. Honestly, I've never done something like this, but I do think that I can probably make it work and make it happen within the next year to 2 to 3 years. So I think it can be anywhere from a year to a 3 year process for at least the first edition, which I'm kind of taking what other games have already made. There's 150 Pokemon for the first edition set of Pokemon. So I'm trying to build anywhere from 100 to 150 characters that can make a playable deck. Also the style of cards. I'm currently working on these cards. Like I said, these are the prototypes, as you can see on the back. the boost has to do with the style of cards that I'm thinking of making. So I'm thinking of making a hack card, which is, you can resemble it more so like a spell card. It has special powers. I'm also doing a lock card, which you can kind of resemble it to a trap card within Yu-Gi-Oh. So this is a lock card. It can be something to be used as defense. It can be used as something that will protect your player or will disable your player from doing something. I will also have field cards that can give an advantage to certain players based on their regions. I'm also thinking about secret power cards or power boost cards. So the power boost cards, the reason I put boost on here ×2 means that these players have to sacrifice their points for them to be able to actually use a boost. So ×2 means for you to use a boost card, you have to pay out of the triangle, you have to pay 2 points. So for example, if at any point in time you touch 0 within any of the triangles, that player is tired or considered tired and is vulnerable to being taken out the field or injured. At that point, you have to remove them from play. And I think that's where I'm leaning towards. That's the aspect of the triangle. So if at any point any of those points reaches 0, you're going to get out of the field. And you have to get out of the field, and for maybe a turn or two, which this is where the rules are going to go into, that player is going to be taken out the field and you're minus a player. I've also thought about it to a point where if you only have 7 players, you lose the game. So that's an automatic forfeit of 2-0. So this is where the rules are going to be applied to the gameplay. And this is where I think is going to be the opportunity to see where I can actually take this game with. This game too. So as of this moment, that's where I'm at, right? So these players will have teams. Where it says team, I will put an actual logo, the logo of the team. So I have to design teams. I have to design style of players, the gears, their kits. Obviously, if it's Cyberpunk, some of these players have to have robotic or Android parts to them. So I have to see what players will do that or will have that. So I'd say within the next month, I at least have to have 3 to 10 characters fleshed out. And that will be the beginning, right? Those 3 characters, I already have these 3, which is Kalen Russ, Luca Lima, and Don. I have to see what part of the world these guys will fit. Obviously, Luca Lima for me is a Brazilian player. Kalen Ross is a Russian player. And Don is an American player. And within these regions, which is based on continents, not so much on countries, but more so continents, and that's going to be districts on this world, I will go ahead and make a team out of this. I'm only going to limit the story, and this is where I'm going to kind of work more into it. I'm also thinking of just limiting a team up to 14 players only, a goalie, maybe 1 goalie on the bench and 3 players from different for each, either defense, mid, or attack, and just have that rule. So every team, so it's not so much work, right? So there's this rule that within the world that there's only 14 players per team. You only get up to 3 subs, and that's it. The cool thing about this TCG game, and this is where I see the potential of it, is when you can create your own team based on different teams. So within the story, obviously, you will not know how these teams play because they're going to be representing their own region. But within the TCG game, you can make teams, or you can make your team based on different region players. And I think that's a very interesting thing to look at, because you might get a really good center back, a really good forward, a really good midfielder from different districts. And I think that's the beautiful aspect of the game. And I think that's what you like about a game, TCG game, when you have all these different variation of monsters. For example, that's why I like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? I've never really played Magic the Gathering, but I think that that's also one of the reasons people like it, is because you have so many options to choose from. But this being edition 1, you're only going to have or be limited to 150 characters. alone, and then all the different boosters or all the which I also have to think about what's the limit of boosters for the first edition, what's the limit of locks, what's the limit of field play cards, and what's the limit of the lock cards, the hack cards, the monster cards, also the limit of the main card, which is the rage card. How many of those am I going to have within the first collection? Which I'm thinking to just limiting it to 5, to be honest. For every 100 cards, I'm thinking anywhere from 5 to 10 at most, 10 max. But for the first edition, I'm thinking 5 because I don't want straight out the gate for people to be trying to break the game out of nowhere, right? So this is going to be a slow process, I think, but a very happy process in a way. And I think that the game itself is gonna grow and unveil of what it is as I continue to work on it day in and day out. So yeah, guys, I hope you liked today's video. I think that my main message for you from this, and I'm very excited about this, is get out there, do what the hell you want, man. Do whatever you want. And I do want to give a shout out to 1000 because literally today I saw his first 2 videos. And it's very inspiring to see someone do something that it's not the norm. You know, you don't always see somebody sharing their journey or their progress when it comes to different things. And I think that 1000 up to this point has been good with that, and I aspire to be very good at communicating my progress. I think that's one of the main issues I have for myself. I just don't stop and record and do all those things. And I think that as I'm getting older, as I'm seeing more the importance of doing that, because it is going to share the process for someone maybe that is 15 or someone that is younger that is also have the same aspirations. And why not share that process when you're starting off? You know, I think that's the beautiful thing about it. And maybe when I'm like 20 years older, I'll come back and look at these videos and be like, hey, man, that's badass. Like I have this as an archive, and I could always come back and see how I could improve and how I can improve nowadays. You know, and it's cool to kind of look back and see where you came from. So yeah, guys, I hope you have an amazing day. I appreciate you for giving me your time. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you. Subscribe. See you in the next one. Take care. Peace.